Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, June 11th, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I can nurture all parts of my consciousness. And I want to make a suggestion. I just went onto my Patreon page and did a live reading for June. What is to come as we finish up June, as we are 3 weeks out from our first eclipse in Cancer, a total solar eclipse, a new moon solar eclipse. And as we are building into that, it's very interesting because we have inconjunct after inconjunct, and that is an aspect. I would say that is probably one of the most challenging aspects, as it is trying to harmonize these two energies that are so out of balance, and it can seem like I don't know how to harmonize these energies. Now I'm bringing this up because as I'm looking at the chart doing this, I'm seeing these inconjuncts across the chart. So one of the inconjuncts that we're working with right now is Jupiter inconjunct the North Node and Mars, because we have the North Node and Mars together today. But that inconjunct with Jupiter may be a little confusing. And the other one that I'm looking at is the Sun inconjunct Saturn and building to an inconjunct with Pluto. And that's so interesting because I feel like these energies have some really specific messages for us that are very important. Now, just to take a step to the side really quickly, we have the moon in Libra, and the moon in Libra really wants us to find that balance. It really wants us to find that harmony, and we don't find it by trying to harmonize with everything outside of ourselves while sacrificing ourselves. And we do not find it by not acknowledging all the pieces of ourselves, like, well, this part seems out of harmony, so I'm just going to sweep it over there. That's what the inconjunct likes to bring up, like that part that you swept under. No, you cannot do that and find your harmony. So I feel like these inconjuncts are trying to get us to acknowledge these pieces that we need to work with. These pieces that are like, one of these things is not like the other and doesn't fit in, and I don't know, I'm just going to avoid it. You can't avoid it. The astro won't let you avoid it. So this inconjunct with the North Node and Mars together today, conjunct North Node, this is the path we want to follow. Mars energies, like, this is my passion, this is my desire. Well, it's inconjunct Jupiter. My feeling with this is that you keep looking for books and all of these kinds of things, and I said this in the Patreon video, to find your answers. But the truest answer is felt within you, and you really need to look there to help and support yourself in and through this energy. Notice your feelings, even the uncomfortable feelings, because even the uncomfortable feelings are trying to guide you, aim you, bring you to that place where you can align with these passions, align with these desires. You need to nurture that part of yourself, but you can't look for somebody else to tell you how to do it. Yes, you can get guidance here and there, and that's very supportive. But the answers are truly within you, and you really do need to look within you to find these answers. And you really do have to acknowledge those feelings, including the shadow feelings, including the feelings that don't necessarily feel so good, and even be grateful for those because they are trying to steer you at this time. The other conjunct I talked about in yesterday's video, so you can go back and look at that on the 10th. The video for the 10th, the inconjunct between Saturn and Gemini. But I would say, like, this is not a time for superficiality. That definitely came up a lot in the reading on Patreon. It's not a time for superficiality. This is a time to really acknowledge all the parts. And I have these two cards, and these two cards are so similar and yet different. The Magician and the Hermit. The Magician, or Existence card, Aloneness or Hermit card. Here the Hermit is marinating in their light. Well, there's all that darkness there, and it's like, I see these pieces of myself, and I integrate these energies, I work with these energies, I can nurture all parts of my consciousness, meaning I can acknowledge where I am the lightest light, and I can acknowledge where I still struggle with some of the other stuff that can feel like a burden to me, but I'm willing to work through these energies, that morality, those shoulds, the should projections of the world that need to be released. So we're working with these energies very strongly. What you need to realize today, Mars conjunct the North Node. Your feelings that are coming up are trying to tell you something. Do not avoid them. Do not dismiss them. Do not hate on them, even if they're uncomfortable. I always love Rumi's The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every day, a new visitor. And sometimes it is a storm and a gale that clears you out for a new delight. Embrace them all. Welcome them all. That's me paraphrasing. It's very important. It's important to not feel like you have to show up the way the world says you should. Because when they say, like, well, people say this. Well, who are these people? Who are these people that we're trying to show up for? You know, it starts out as family and friends and maybe acquaintances and coworkers, and then it, you know, can extend to the people at the grocery store and neighbors and, you know, anybody. And oh my God, that's such a weight to bear. No more. Honor yourself. Be true to yourself. To thine own self be true. Nurture and honor that energy. Okay, so, we've got some squares going on today as well, and these squares are connecting us into some T-square action. T-square of the cardinal signs. And this is interesting because cardinal signs are the leader signs. Cardinal energy is where we want to take that initiation, take action. And so when we have these T-squares or crosses with the cardinal energy, it's like, who should I listen to? Who am I going to follow? Oh, yourself, your soul. That's where you want to follow. But you may feel a little pushed, pulled. You may be told what you should do. Chances are being told what you should do is going to lead to that exhaustion, though, when you follow that energy, rather than listening to the light of your own being. So be very aware of that. So we have the moon squaring Mars. Or we have the moon squaring Mars. We have the moon squaring Mars and we have the moon squaring Mercury. I'm going to start with Mercury because that's 11 degrees, that master level degree. Mercury in Cancer. Taking the mental energy and aligning it with the feels energy at this master level 11. Master degree 11. But 11 also gives us that mirror. We may get some nice mirrors in our life today to show us where we may be falling into these patterns. Be very aware of the mirrors. Be very aware of how you're trying to harmonize with these mirrors, even if these are funhouse mirrors, because sometimes these mirrors are not exact, and you're trying to harmonize with a funhouse mirror, and your body's like, I can't do that. Moon in Libra squaring Mercury in Cancer. You're not going to feel better when you mimic the funhouse mirrors. You are going to feel best when you honor your true self, when you honor your feelings, even if everybody else is acting like they've got their stuff together. I'm guaranteeing in these energies, so many feels are coming up for everybody. Everybody feels the eclipses to some extent. Everybody has their off days. You don't have to try to be perfect. You just have to be yourself and nurture all the parts of your consciousness that are coming up. Moon square Mars. Mars also in Cancer. Again, the moon in Libra really wants that harmony and balance. But if you have all these feels that you've tucked under the rug, you are going to feel very challenged in finding that harmony within yourself. It may look good out there, but if it's not good in here, then you are just building for volcanic activity within yourself. Especially as Mars is aligned with the North Node, you've really got to allow your feeling process. I don't know if I've said that enough times during this video, but it's so important right now. And it's so important as we build. We're a week out from the full moon, and we're 3 weeks out from the eclipse. So these are just important energies to take note of, because as we build into eclipse energies, the intensity rises. And the more you can approach these things now, the less intensity you will have to face when the eclipse comes. So I'm going to leave it at this for now. Like I said, go check out my patron video. It was a glance ahead at June, even though June is already 10 days in. But there's so much, and there's so many of these inconjuncts. We've really got to come into balance with these parts of ourselves that are not in balance. Let's see. You can always book a reading with me. I am putting out my eclipse videos tomorrow. That is my line for putting them out. So I'm going to get them out, whatever that will be. Take a second. What are you grateful for? And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power through all of this. Namaste.